Good morning. In this IXL video, we are going to be covering the assignment R6, converse of the Pythagorean theorem. Is it a right triangle? And that shortcut code is EQZ. So the purpose of this assignment is to use the Pythagorean theorem to determine if a triangle is a right triangle or not. The reason the Pythagorean theorem helps us with this is because the Pythagorean theorem only works on right triangles. It doesn't work if they're an acute or an obtuse triangle. So before we get started, let's refresh our memory on what the Pythagorean theorem is. The Pythagorean theorem is a squared, so one of the legs of the triangle, plus b squared, so the second leg of your triangle, and that is equal to c squared, the hypotenuse of the triangle. I like visuals, so let's draw ourselves a little triangle here so we can better see that the A and the B represent the legs and the C represents the hypotenuse. So I'll draw that triangle over here. Your two legs are A and B, and your hypotenuse is your C. All right, now let's read the problem and see what we need to do. A triangle has sides with lengths of 8 meters, 15 meters, and 17 meters. Is it a right triangle? Well, they've given us the three sides, so what we need to do is determine which two sides are the legs and which is the hypotenuse. This is important because if we mix them up, then the equation won't work. What we need to look for is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the side that is across from your 90-degree angle, which makes it the longest side. So your hypotenuse is the longest side of the triangle. And if we look at our three measurements, 8, 15, and 17, what's the longest? Yeah, 17 is. That means 17 is our hypotenuse. 17 is our C. Therefore, our two legs are 8 and 15. Those, it doesn't really matter which one you label A, which one you label B. Just as long as those are both the legs and the longest one is your C, your hypotenuse. We'll go ahead and make 8 meters our A and 15 meters our B. Now that we've identified what our hypotenuse and our legs are, we can substitute, so replace our variables with these numbers and determine whether it's a right triangle or not. So A squared, well, we said A was 8, 8 squared, plus B squared, B is 15, is equal to C squared, C is 17. All right, now let's simplify. When you're working on these problems, whenever you can do the multiplication or the math in your head, please do so because you won't always have a calculator. However, if you're finding the squares of numbers that are greater than 12, those aren't ones I expect you to have memorized, and therefore you can rely on a calculator. So 8 squared, that's one that you need to work on memorizing. 8 squared would be 8 times 8, which is 64. But 15 squared, that's bigger than 12. I give you permission to use the calculator on that one. So if we come over here, 15 squared is 225. Yikes, that's kind of a bad 2. And then 17 squared is 289. All right, let's keep simplifying because we want to know whether or not this is a true statement. So 64 plus 289 and 25. That is 289. All right, so we have 289 equals 289. Is that a true statement? Yeah, we got the answer that we were supposed to, which means the Pythagorean theorem works. Therefore, yes, this is a right triangle. All right, let's try it with another one. So a triangle has the side lengths of 9 meters, 12 meters, and 15 meters. Is it a right triangle? So first, I'm going to write the formula down because the more I write it, that will help me memorize the formula. So the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals our hypotenuse, c squared. So we were given our three side lengths, 9, 12, and 15. We need to know which one of those is the hypotenuse and which two are the legs. Remember, the hypotenuse is the longest side. 15 meters is the longest. Therefore, that is our C. And then 9 and 12 can become our A and B. And it doesn't matter the order, so I'm going to do them backwards this time just to kind of prove it to you, because they won't always give you the information in order. So we can go ahead and make 9 meters our B and 12 meters our A, because it doesn't matter with the legs, which one's A and which one's B. All right, let's substitute and solve. So A squared, that would be 12 squared, plus B squared, 9 squared, equals C squared, 15 squared. All right, 12 squared, that would be a good one to have memorized. 12 times 12 is 144. Plus 9 squared, 9 times 9 is 81. And then we just did 15 squared, but I don't want to misremember. So 15 squared is 225. All right, let's finish this off to see whether or not I'm going to get the answer to 25. So we're going to add 144 and 81, and we get 225. All right, we have another example of one that works. It checks out. Therefore, this is also a right triangle. All right, let's jump up a level here. Okay, and honestly, really the only thing that jumping up a level does on this assignment is your numbers are ones that you probably don't have memorized and you'll need to use a calculator for. So a triangle has the side lengths of 24 centimeters, 70 centimeters, and 74 centimeters. All of my labels are the same. They're all centimeters. That's good. So which one of those would be our hypotenuse? 74, because that is the longest side, which means 24 centimeters and 70 centimeters becomes our A and B. We have A squared plus B squared equals C squared is our Pythagorean theorem. Let's substitute. A squared, 24 squared, plus B squared, 70 squared, equals C squared, so 74 squared. All right, these are all ones where I would use a calculator for, and what the calculator I'm using, guys, is the Desmos Scientific Calculator. The reason I like this one is because it's a very similar format to what you will see on the FSA, that online calculator. So it kind of helps get you used to the calculator buttons and their functions. So 24 squared is 576. And then 70 squared is 4,900 and then 74 squared is 5,476. All right, let's add up our two legs and see whether or not it is a right triangle. So 576 plus 4,900 is 5,476. We're getting a lot of them that work. I promise when you guys do this, there will be some that don't work and are not right triangles. Okay, awesome. All right, we'll go ahead and try one more. We'll jump up another level to that passing. All right, a triangle has side lengths of 36 inches, 48 inches, and 60 inches. Is it a right triangle? All right, what value is our hypotenuse? 60, yep. 60 is our hypotenuse because that is the longest side, which means our legs are 36 inches. I'll make that A, and 48 inches B. Pythagorean Theorem, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Our A is 36 inches, so 36 squared plus our B, 48 squared, equals our C, 60 squared. All right, let's see what we got here. And all of these are numbers over 12, so I'm giving myself permission to use the calculator. All right, 36 squared is 1,296. And then 48 squared, 2,304. And 60 squared, 3,600. All right, let's see if we finally get one that doesn't work. So 1,296 plus 2,304. This one does work as well. That's kind of funny. All right, 3,600. All right, this one does work, but since I never came across one that didn't work, how you guys would know if it didn't work is if you don't get the same answer. So let's say you add the two numbers and we had gotten 3,000. Is 3,000 equal to 3,600? No. And if that was the case, then that would prove to you that it's not a right triangle and your answer would be no instead of yes. Oh, it would help if I actually clicked the answer. All right, so there you go, guys. Just the main thing to remember is that your hypotenuse is the longest leg. It is, sorry, not the longest leg. It is the longest side. And then the two shorter ones are your legs. So the hypotenuse is the longest. All right. Well, I hope this helped out. If not, remember, guys, please send your teacher an email and come to those help sessions because we will be more than happy to assist you. Bye.